Yeah.
A bit of discussion, as you said last week, about what your motivation is, why you're here, what do you want out of it, what can we do to help, that kind of thing, each other. Welcome back to the Lose to Win podcast with myself, Josh, Jack, and Ben. How are we doing, lads? End of a season.
Come on, you Gooners.
Yeah, all right. Get that in early.
Got straight in.
You've been sitting on it for ages.
We've been talking about 25 minutes and I barely mentioned it.
Well, you have been sat in front of a picture of Bukayo Saka and Thierry Henry, giving it.
I have, yeah. Created that as my background for teams for context. Yeah, what a night. Anyway.
No, it was great. If you want to talk about it, we can maybe brush over it later if you want, but it was fantastic.
You just brush over it.
No, absolutely not.
No, yeah, right.
Credit where credit is due, I think, Ben. I think that's what I'm looking for
fair play,
here.
mate. Fair play.
Yes, yeah, very fair play, yeah. How are you guys doing then? How are we doing?
Good, mate.
Coming
Buzzing
to Easter
from
weekend,
last night. And busy. I've had today and yesterday off to I kind of started the half term with some days off, and I've finished the half term with some days off, which is nice. So we've been to the cinema today. Taylor's had football training. We've done all sorts, mate. It's been really nice. And the weather's about to turn as well, isn't it? It's meant to be shit tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we've been doing all like the gardening bits and pieces to get those done, kind of where we had the chance. But yeah, it's been good. How about you?
Yeah. Not too bad. Been pretty good. Obviously, shame I wasn't very well last week in terms of our awards.
Yes, you were missed very much.
Get a debrief from you guys, but I heard it went well. So we'll come to that in a bit. But yeah, it was a real shame. I was really cut up about it, to be honest. But nothing much I could do.
For sure, mate.
Yeah, but some worthy winners of some many prizes, and also the raffle. I'll be keen to hear who won some things.
Oh, I'll try and remember it, mate.
Yeah.
To be fair, that was we did it in half the time as last time, didn't we? We rattled through it. We wanted to make sure we were conscious we didn't want to take the piss and go too long with it. But there's a few thank yous that we had to say, and we will probably mention again at some point for people that have donated stuff from their businesses from within the group.
Yeah, it was good.
Absolutely. So but otherwise, week's okay. Been pretty good. Good to get into the new teams.
Bad. I had a week off last week, which was great. Spent a lot of time with the kids, and then I'm going away this weekend we're going to see some family who are over from Australia. So we're all going up, staying in a cottage up in the Cotswolds with some family.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be a nice little way. Apart from the weather, the weather's going to be rubbish. So
big old cottage, though, isn't it? It's got to be.
It's gonna. Well, there's two. There's going to be 8 of us, so it's not too bad. It's just. But they're over from Oz They've been over for a little while, and they're going back in after this weekend. So we're seeing them right at the end of their trip, which will be great. Yeah, it's my wife's uncle. So
wicked.
So that will be good. So hence why I won't be there tomorrow, sadly.
Always
enjoy
friendly night.
Friendly week. But yes, so all good, mate. All good. Feeling good about the new teams. I'm guessing we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's a subject we'll definitely touch on. It's nice, isn't it? It's a burst of energy for all of us, I think, when these things happen.
Yeah.
Some more than others, I guess, because some people just will carry on and won't get as involved as others in group chats, which is absolutely fine. As we mentioned last week, we've got to appreciate everybody is very different when it comes to communicating that way in technology and everything. And there's others that have, I think, come out of their shell. We've done our icebreakers already, and I've learned stuff about people that I thought I knew pretty well, and find out what people do for work and motivations and other bits and pieces. So it's really cool. And
nice.
I think Steve and Josh and Liam and Dan's input as well, I think a very fair spread as it looks at the moment. I don't think there's one team that jumps out as the very best or the most likely to do it. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, and I think also it's important to note that, as you said, you can't really, I think you said to me at one point, Chat, you can't judge that based off the paper that you see the names on, can you? Because you'll get to week one and some teams might look, that looks like a strong pitch team, but maybe they have a couple of people who may struggle on the weight loss, or the other way around. Maybe you have so As has been proven by the last rotation and, well, all seasons that we've been here, basically. So
yeah. Well, we had a last hurrah last night. Our purples went out for a little soiree.
Oh, nice.
Only 5 of us because Arsenal were playing, so a few people didn't come or couldn't come.
Good stuff.
So there was only 5 of us in the end, but it was nice
Love
just
the
to get
commitment.
together, have a bite to eat and a few drinks, and just.
Where did you go?
We went to the Grasshopper in Parkstone.
Literally around the corner from me.
Around the road
it's really nice. It's like Hall and Woodhouse as well.
Yeah,
They're one of the guys that donated some stuff. It's really nice in there.
Burger Wednesdays, all burgers for 11 quid, which was excellent, seeing as their most expensive burgers 20 quid. So everyone had one of them.
I did not know that. That's banging. I actually went in there for the first time in about 10 years to meet some of the new coaches for my my lads football for Lilliput, and somebody suggested there, and I thought, cool, I've not been in there for a long time, and it's been properly done up, really nice. Really you did put your reg in though, didn't you? Because I've heard loads of people locally bang on about getting tickets. There we go.
I was going to say, you can't be driving in a nice little nosh up with your teammates, can you?
No.
Can't be having a drink.
But yeah, that's good, mate. That's really good.
Yeah,
glad to hear.
Sounds like the kind of thing that new teams could get on as well. Maybe just have a little bit of a. While we're through Easter, I know everyone's busy, but going into week one, but jealous,
definitely.
Such.
I have a feeling the Blacks might be getting together tonight, are they? Because Oscar, Lou, Dom.
Oh, from the old team.
A few others, the old Blacks. I have a feeling
can't make it.
They all pulled out this, like, I'm pulling out, and then the next one said, I can't make it, and then it went kind of like to Thursday football. So maybe they're doing something similar.
Yeah,
maybe.
Nice, good stuff.
Well, we're supposed to do it for the Blues, and we never got round to it. So
no, we had something similar. We've had a few that we just haven't been able to get around, but we had pretty much everybody bar one there on Saturday night, so that made a big difference as well, which was good.
Yeah, but I think, as you say, it's important to put some time aside for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Especially new team or at the end of a rotation with your old team.
Yeah.
I think in particular when we've got new teams to get to know people a bit better. And as you say, a bit like an icebreaker, it's probably easier in person.
Again, as long as your social battery and your social behaviours and how you feel allows it, then it's absolutely, I think, it's really important to not cast any judgment on anybody that can't make those sorts of things or would prefer not to. But it does suit some people better than others, especially when it comes to childcare arrangements and everything else as well. So it is a good idea. It's a really good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, lads, shall we jump into just the roundup of our last week of the last rotation?
Yeah, let's do it. I think I know the ending. I know the ending, but go on.
Sure, there'll be a few mentions. Anyway, week 14 of any season is a tricky one, with some teams feeling there's nothing left to play for, while others treat every out lost as a potential title decider. Throw in the end of a rotation and the last chance to sign off in style, grappling with the temptation to hold something back for the new teammates, which people have done before, and the result can be a week with a split personality. This season's final week falls into precisely that pattern. Only 37 players out of the 67 lost weight, with a total loss of just 6.6 kilos. More positively, almost half of those lose 1 kilo or more, or lost 1 more kilo or more, with several milestones and one of the strongest team of the weeks we've ever had. So we'll get on to some of those individual stories later, but first, there's a small matter of the league title that we had to deal with. So the results from that week, last week, were the Oranges won 19-7 against the Reds.
Incredible.
The Blacks won 9-2 against us Yellows. The Blues won 21-7 against the Purples.
Nice.
Was it 9-2 or 9-2?
What?
Sorry, 9-2 to the Blacks. So
It was at -2, wasn't it, on the website?
Oh, I mean, it could have been -2, and I've made the mistake in just my tip. Wow.
Yeah. Sorry to highlight that. Sorry to highlight that. It's just the first time I've ever seen it.
I'm not part of the Yellows, mate, anymore. But what I was going to say is...
I see.
No, I tease, but
it's been passed.
I think to myself, is that the first minus score we've had?
I don't know, mate. I couldn't tell you. Steve would be able to
tell. I didn't realise. Well, resetting for the new year then, clearly.
Yeah.
But then your Blues, as we mentioned, Jack, won 21-7 against the Purples in our podcast derby. And then the Greens won 8-3 against the Whites. Yeah. So all three title-chasing teams, Blacks for the Pitch League, Oranges for the Main League, and Blues for both, finished the season with wins. That meant the Blues maintained their 1-point advantage on the pitch, while the Main League went down to goal difference. So free-scoring Oranges scored 19 points, incredibly for the first time since week 9 that they've dipped below 20 points.
Yeah, that's bonkers, isn't it?
Improving their goal difference by 12. The Blues, however, won by a similar margin, which was enough to see them add the Main League to their Pitch League triumph. So very well done, congratulations. It was a spectacular effort from both sides and a worthy end to a phenomenal season for both of them. Oranges lost 33.6 kilos, becoming only the second team to retain the Scales League in the process. Blues lost even more weight, 48.2 kilos. It's worth noting that both sides were big losers last season, 50.3 and 48.9 kilos respectively, so which makes their achievements this time even more impressive.
Yeah, brilliant.
Either would have made a worthy champion, but ultimate prize goes to the Blues.
Yay.
Very well done.
Up the Blues.
Elsewhere, the pitch was patchier. So with 3 teams going backwards in the final week, one team ended the season on exactly the same weight they started, while another finished considerably heavier. So 4 players rounded things off with a final week milestone, with 3 of them hoping it might prove decisive in the title race. Brian Daly of the Oranges reached his 10% in his final week at the club. So well done, and all the best in the future, Brian.
Yeah.
As did Liam Dancer of the Greens, the only milestone man whose motivation had no title-chasing incentive to boost it. Yeah, so very well done.
Yeah.
Connor Skirman of the Blues hit his 15%, while his teammate Ryan Broadbank joined the elite 20% club.
Well done, boys.
It's worth mentioning as well that 3 players with 2 previous milestones this season bagged a third that had to be held over until week 1 of the new season.
Nice.
So we don't usually highlight deferred milestones until they become official, but as one of the 3, Harry Reid, is leaving us, he deserves his moment in the spotlight. So Harry has now lost 25%.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Of his starting body weight, dropping 13.2 kilos this season and 32.3 kilos overall. So a huge congratulations to Harry.
An absolute legend.
Yeah, who will be missed on and off the pitch. So the other deferred milestone man can wait until next season, or the milestone men, I should say. It's a couple can wait until next season for the plaudits, assuming that Easter eggs and beer don't undo their progress in the meantime. So we'll come back.
Week
to
1's going to be interesting.
I will just highlight that they are both on the same team. Going into next season. There's 2 of the people I know are both on the same team going into next season.
And who's playing them? I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, well, we can talk about it. I'm sure it's been mentioned enough. We'll come back to it. A hat-trick in week 14 is always satisfying, bringing the knowledge that every week of losing weight counted with nothing left over. There were 11 tidy-minded losers this time around. The count for hat-tricks starts from scratch next season, though, meaning none can be awarded before week 3 at the earliest. All 7 survivors in last man standing avoided falling at the final hurdle. 2 of them, Josh Buxton and Harry Reid, still have grace weeks intact. So they are the season's winners. So very congratulations.
Yeah.
The same as they were with Matt Waterman last season. So that's 2 consecutive seasons for Harry Reid and Josh Buxton.
Back to back.
The 5 runners-up were Ryan Broadbank, Brian Daly, George Geimer, Ravnath, and Sid Wolford. So very well done.
Good work, guys. Well done.
Very, very well done. Matt Waterman is the comfortable winner of the top scorer with 24 points.
That's bonkers.
Made up of 2 milestones, a full season of staying in maintenance, plus the hat-tricks earned along the way. So I actually think, I don't know this for a fact, but I have a feeling that is literally the highest possible score
I think it is,
anyone can have
Yeah.
It might be one more week because he did lose his grace week, so he may have one more week of weight loss in there.
No, because he was still in maintenance, so you get a goal in maintenance.
Anyway, okay, so there you go. That might be the highest possible score achievable.
Yeah, I think it is.
Weeks, 24 points.
Does he get a hat trick for 3 consecutive weeks of maintenance?
Yeah, so you get 4 hat tricks. So you get 14 points for the week's season, then you get 4 hat tricks, and then you get the 6 points for the 2 milestones. So that's 24,
which were deferred, and because they were deferred, his maintenance started week 1.
Yeah.
So he essentially maximized all points. I think.
Yeah.
Fair play.
I don't think there's any way anyone can get any higher than 24 points in a season.
No.
So
I think the highest I've seen is 20, 21 maybe. So yeah, incredible.
Yeah. Top score honours also go to the highest scoring non-maintenance players, however, namely Harry Reid and Josh Buxton, who both scored 17 points. So very well done to them.
Yeah, well done.
Brian Daly, Lewis Vaseline-Attorney, and James Hunt pushed them close with 16 points. Well done.
Awesome work.
Josh Buxton's otherwise perfect week, double title winner, LMS winner, top scorer, is only spoiled by seeing the amazing loser title snatched from his grasp at the last gasp. So a stunning 5.4 kilo loss from Sam Bailey.
Wow.
Brought his seasonal total to 15.8%. And let's not forget his season only began in week 5.
Yeah.
Beating Josh's excellent 14.11% into second place.
Well, do you want me to tell you how it happened? Me and George saw Sam on the way out, and we said, "How did you get on?" And he's like, they said that they'd won on the pitch, and George said, "How did you get on on the scales?" He's like, "I lost 5.2, whatever that number was." And we're like, "Wow, that's incredible." And he's like, "Yeah," and all I had was I think he did a step challenge with Kev, so they were spurring each other on.
Yeah.
And he was doing 30,000 steps a day or whatever it may be. And then the first thing I did, I was asking everybody how they got on. Josh said how he got on, and I was like, I can't believe it. I just heard Sam Bailey's lost 5 points something in the car park. He's like, oh, well, that means he's beating me to the top loser then. I was like, no. Shit, I didn't even think about that, mate. I'm so sorry. So I broke the news to him, sadly. But it might have been the easiest way of learning it, but just incredible. From both of them, to be fair. But incredible.
Fair, yeah, unbelievable.
I have made a bet, not an official bet, but maybe I should start this now. We'll have to weigh up terms, Josh, if you're listening, to be the lightest Josh in the league.
Oh, okay.
Now, I have a 14 kilo or so head start on him at the moment.
Yeah.
But considering how quickly he seems to lose it and how much I have traditionally struggled the last rotation, I'm sure that gap will be quickly closed.
There's a chance you might be in the middle somewhere, yeah.
So I'm going to try my hardest to stay ahead of him as much as possible, and that's my goal, because I don't think personally I can lose maybe quite as much as he has been losing consistently, and I know he's just going to keep marching on. So that's my goal, is to stay ahead of him and be the lightest Josh in the league, which would be interesting. Anyway, so I just thought I'd put that out there while it was on my mind. Unsurprisingly, by the way, I should say, Sam Bailey, as we mentioned, led Team of the Week. So, I mean, that's not really, yeah. But he's far from the only one with an eye-catching loss. Liam Dancer's 3.4 kilos, one of the 5 players losing more than 2 kilos, by the way, makes him the only player to retain his place from last week. So, the full and final lineup from last season. Sam Bailey with 5.4, as we mentioned. Liam Dancer with 3.4. Then Ollie Shearing lost 3.2 kilos. Luke Cage lost 2.8 kilos.
Well done, Cagey.
Yeah. Jordan Mohammed lost 2.3 kilos. Harry Reid lost 1.8 kilos, and Danny Pidgley also lost 1.8 kilos.
Well done. Yeah, that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, very well done in the last week. So it's farewell to season 12, and farewell to this rotation of teams. We've seen prodigious feats on the pitch and on the scales, and life-changing progress for many of us. So it all starts again on April 25th for us, And if you want to be one of the life changers next time, there's nothing stopping you. So it starts now. We'll keep moving.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So a fantastic end to the season. And
really good.
Although I don't know the official total of weight, when you factor in Christmas, we still had a decent season from where we started from that moment onwards.
Absolutely.
So
from a personal perspective, it was great. It was weird. I said to Steve as well, he's going to claim that I do it on purpose, but funny enough, the last end of rotation, it was my team that won as well. And when we did the party, it was the Purples that won then, and he's like, so I can tell everybody you only ever plan a party when it's your team that's got a chance of winning it. Then I'm like, might be true, might not be. But yeah, it was just I'm sure it's a pure coincidence, but it's from a personal perspective, it was great, and some incredible players within that team that we've mentioned there, but there's some others that will go unmentioned that have just been fantastic as well in terms of support and on and off the pitch and everything else that's gone on around it. It just doesn't, as we know, with any kind of football league, nothing happens eventually when the final medals are given out by accident. It's all the hard work, and it's all those extra percentages, extra margins that people have really put effort into to turn it around, and that very much can happen for any team. If you can get everybody together and working together, you can do it for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was awesome.
Well done, mate. Well done.
There's a couple of other things I just want to say in the Roll of Honour that we didn't mention. So as we said, the main league champions, well done to the Blues. Oranges were second. They were runners up in the main league. The Oranges, however, were the Scales League, as we mentioned, and your Blues then, Jack, were the runners-up in the Scales League.
Yeah.
You were also the winner of the Pitch League, and the runners-up of that Pitch League were the Blacks. We mentioned top scorer, Matt Waterman, winning that, and top scorers for non-maintenance players, Josh Buxton and Harry Reid. Josh Buxton was named again, as we mentioned, runner-up of the Amazing Loser, and Sam Bailey won the Amazing Loser. Then a couple of things. Last man standing. So Ravnath, Brian Daly, George Geimer, Ryan Broadbank, Josh Buxton and Harry Reid were runners-up to the winners of that. Runners-up. Josh Buxton and Harry Reid were the winners of that, I should say. Yeah. But the King of Team of the Week was an interesting one. So who do you think, I think you guys must know, who was in Team of the Week most? If you can remember. From last season. Not that I know how many times.
Josh Buxton. There's got to be a few others as well. Do you know how many you're looking for?
I don't know how many times they're in there, but I've just got the two runners up and the winner. So who was in it most, plus two people who win it the next most, essentially. If you can remember it from the Roll of Honour.
I can't remember. Josh
no, I can't think.
Yeah. So the runners up, Sam Bailey and Carl Pidgley.
Carl, of course it was Carl.
Oh, yeah, fair play, Carl.
But then King of Team of the Week was Josh Buxton, who made it the most times. I don't know, because I wasn't there and didn't hear Steve's thing, how many times it was.
I think it's all bar two, I can think, from memory.
Yeah, only a couple of times you weren't in there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and even then it was still a significant amount of weight loss. It's just that bar was higher.
Yeah.
So, yeah, amazing stuff.
So maybe then we can move on to our awards that we Lose to Win chaps put out, and then the Clubman, which Steve did mention. We can do at the end, maybe. So, in terms of pitch stuff, are you happy for me to rattle through?
You crack on, mate.
Yeah, you crack on. Do it.
You weren't there.
Your baby.
I'll do all the work. It's fine.
Now, no. You weren't there on the night, so now's your chance to do it.
Yeah.
Do a bit of work.
The Golden Glove, who won it on the last game, which was unfortunate for these, but I'm sure he made up for it.
It's all Ben's
fault. He actually won the league.
Yes,
it's fine. Doesn't matter. So Anthony Scareman unfortunately lost it to Tom Marks, who won it on the last game. Tom managed to stand around and wait until that goal went in versus past Ant, and then he disappeared. So just to make
it was a hell of a goal. To be fair, if you're going to lose it, you lose it to a goal like that.
Yeah.
So fair play.
Yeah. Then Playmaker Awards. The most assists went to Harry Reid, and I can't remember. I believe it was 11 across the season. Some pretty good going. Then Golden Boot, which was an interesting one. because they were tied on 13. Dom and George were tied on 13, and George Howe had 10 going into the game. George's game was first and scored 4 goals to take the lead, 14. Dom then scored once against us Yellows to tie it up. Then George came along and scored a hat-trick to seal it comfortably.
Quite an impressive hat-trick at that.
Yeah. So 16 goals in as many weeks as he played, and I'm pretty confident it wasn't all 14 games. So he's
keen to remind everybody, and he was reminding Dom on the night when they were having a little bit of a banterish bicker about it. It's quite a mouthful. That Jordan missed 2 games and played half a game in goal, and he was making sure Dom was fully aware of that. So that was quite a laugh. And also, by trade, Jordan, and he did tell Dom this as well, and Dom was fuming. By trade, Jordan is actually a centre back, 11 aside. He was always a centre back. So Dom was even more pissed off with that as well when he was telling him on Saturday night. It was a good laugh, good to see, good banter between them too.
But 16 goals, very good.
Yeah, amazing.
Then we moved on to our awards. Now I can't remember precise order, but I have got what I think it was. So utility player.
Yeah.
So special mentions, I should say, to Adam White and Liam Goodall.
Yeah.
Both of whom do fantastic work in terms of various positions on the pitch and can do pretty much everything. But I think we gave it to Rob Hodge in the end.
We did.
Generally just speaking, placing himself wherever he wants to be on the pitch at any given moment, and can just be he can almost be in 2 places at once, given how much energy he's got. So I think that's well deserved there from Robbo.
Yeah, definitely.
Then on to the Phil Jones Award. Special mentions to Connor Skerman, of course.
Yeah.
For placing himself again pretty much wherever the ball is. It doesn't matter what part of his body.
And the goal.
Yeah. Sam Bailey, who's been extremely impressive since he's joined the league, and then Martin Boone of the Purples, who I think Ben, you probably have many superlatives about.
Oh yeah,
and his time there. But the winner goes to Jesus Ponce of the Yellows.
And he wasn't there, sadly. We thought he was going to be there, and he wasn't there, which was a shame.
He was buzzing. He said Tuesday night to us, didn't he, that he was really grateful of receiving it and did appreciate it. So fair play to him.
Absolutely, very thoroughly deserved, and he saved us many times.
The
season. Absolutely, just incredible. So very well done.
Absolute brick wall as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
all 3 of them are to be all 3 of them I'd say are as well. So it does make a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Indeed. Then on to the Sideline Shithouse Award, which is good fun. Special mention to member of the pod, Jack Cater, for being...
Hi, that's me, yep. Hi.
And to Ryan Puttick, who sometimes has a word or two to say across the pitch to a few people. But I think we could only really give it to one person, can we?
Yes.
Luke Cage, deserving winner of the Sideline Shithouse Award, and he knows it.
I think he was quite proud about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He seemed. I did mention to him briefly, and he just seemed pretty happy.
He was quite pleased,
yeah. But then referee of the season.
Yeah,
I think
big one.
Yeah, I think considering the fact that Sid did all of one game and managed to do a good job. Ian and Geary very well. Obviously, are stable of refs, and to be fair, I think one thing I will say is I know some people give the ref shit, but truthfully, they're brilliant. These guys, they're brilliant, and also
I think we should have made them sit on their own in the corner, to be completely honest.
I think also it just goes out saying that I think it's important for referees to understand what the league's about, get it, and they both do.
Well,
they both get it completely and referee accordingly, and it's
Well, I know.
And don't take any shit as well.
So Gary's keen to come on, and I think we should get him on. We should get him on for a chat.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Be very interesting to hear. No, I don't know if Gary does much reffing outside of just our league.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But it'll be good to get some stories about that as well.
I'm away that week, so that's a shame.
But our winner went to Harry Reid for his stand-in ref opportunities, much to, I'm sure, to the
Sid did also get a mention as well, didn't he, for
yes,
doing the very worst job of it.
Yeah.
What it does prove, and Josh, you've refed a few, and I've refed a few down there, and I have refed 11-a-sides and whatever before, proper 11-a-side, but it's not easy at all, and it's not.
No.
It's not the most enjoyable job, and a lot of the time, if you are turning up every week and you are getting grief, you can see why a lot of referees end up being quite the way they are, if that makes sense, because they're just sick of it. Like they are spoken to like shit and treated like shit. And I know I joke about Geary and Ian and the others that do it, but in all seriousness, and I am one that's definitely reined it back in, especially for the league that we're in. But without them, it just doesn't work, does it? And I know we joke about when Sid did it, but it can go wrong, can't it? Without them, they're there as that kind of extra.
I think it's important because otherwise you start taking it frustration on other players. And I mean that I'm not saying you should be taking it on the referee at all, but it is quite interesting, having refed a few games, the switch that you notice in people that you consider friends quite quickly when you are the member of authority for a game. It is actually quite impressive, I must say, how quickly you start becoming the villain. So I think it's important to recognise that sometimes.
Guilty.
But the league as a whole is pretty well, good managed, really, generally speaking. There's a few
I think you're right,
but really, and it's handled well by the refs, and they do a great job. So thanks for that.
So we insulted them by giving it to Harry.
Yes.
I take full blame for that, and it got the most laughs of the night, so I'm more than happy with that
as well. The newcomer award then was next. So I mean, there have been plenty of new people to the league in the last rotation, and from what I can tell, they've all taken to it like a duck to water and settled in really nicely. And I'm sure there's a few people in particular I know we've heard who've come along to the league this rotation and been brilliant and loved every minute of it, and even people who are leaving. So I know people like James, for example, in Purples.
That was a lovely message.
Very nice message. Very nice to league.
Really well
done.
And
it's also very good for new members to see that kind of thing and come in and go, look, this is exactly what I could get out of it.
Think about it that way.
Yeah. So it's brilliant. But a couple of our notable members to mention. So Danny Pidgley of the Oranges, who's come in and smashed weight, as well as Paul Harding of the Blacks, who have come in and done a really great job. Kind of unassuming, really, just see them on a Friday and turn up and all the time. So
I have to apologise to Danny on that one, because the way I delivered this at the awards,
yes,
unfortunately, it made it sound like Danny was the winner.
And he stood up.
So he got up to come and get the award, and I was like, no, I'm just announcing the nominations. So I thought I delivered it wrong. So I had to apologise. God bless him.
He took it fine. He was absolutely fine. It was a little bit funny,
but it could have been any of those lads. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but the winner, I think his name's mentioned a lot, but I think this only one place to go on some level is Josh Buxton for the Newcomer Award. I actually don't know for a fact. I actually think Sam Bailey has broken his record in terms of how much weight he's lost in the first so many weeks, 10 weeks or something of being here. But it's been incredible. He's been setting records for that kind of thing since he joined. And I'm not 100% certain there's anyone who's lost as much as he has in a rotation.
No, that's quite a lot.
So it's just mightily impressive, basically, and I'm sure it will continue. To much the chagrin of not those who haven't got him on his team next season. Then we moved on to the most improved player. So again, Josh Buxton was a nominee on this one. Having come on leaps and bounds, mainly it's his in confidence as much as anything else, and ability and etc. Just it kind of lets you flourish a bit more in terms of show your ability a bit more, doesn't it? Really, confidence. And the same with Liam Dancer, who has made absolutely massive strides since he's come into the league, and I feel like he's now settled. All these people. So that's really impressive. But the winner goes to Matt Waterman. Who, again, another guy who's mentioned a lot on here, but I mean, what else can we say? And I am thrilled, not giving this way, to have him as captain next season for my team. So, Already an impressive footballer, made just absolutely unstoppable in just by the way he's lost weight and the way he's grown. So, yeah, very impressive.
Yeah.
Then on to our player's player, voted by you, the community. So I think we can consider this one quite a prestigious one. It's quite nice to get that affirmation from the rest of the guys in the league, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really. There were some names that I think we're familiar with in the running.
Yeah,
but the ultimate winner was Harry Reid. So big congratulations to Harry for being voted player's player. And I get the impression, although I don't know this for a fact, that he quite enjoyed it.
He did.
So yeah,
he was really humbled absolutely. Though. He was really genuinely like surprised and humbled by it. So yeah.
Oh, that does not surprise me at all.
Yeah,
genuinely it doesn't.
Just to give some background on that as well, because I know we gave nominees for other ones as well. So we had a couple of other players that were thoroughly in the running for it. I won't say in what order, but we had Matt Waterman for obvious reasons as well. We had Lewis VT, who has, much like Matt and the others, actually, to be fair, what I should say is we kind of left it down to your own interpretation of how you consider somebody being your player's player. We could easily said, just give us football or just give us weight loss. Yeah. But we know that often the player that contributes the most, and to be able to do both, is the player that becomes a player's player, if that makes sense. So all of the people have done exactly that. So Matt Waterman, Lewis VT, Josh Buxton and Harry were the kind of four outstanding ones in terms of the vote numbers. There's a couple in there, honourable mentions for Adam White, Connor, Gareth, and then the rest there was ones and twos. So yeah, really well done. Everywhere I've mentioned there, you've done a lot for your teams. And it makes a big difference.
Yeah, well done, lads.
Absolutely. And then on to the clubman, which is Steve's to give out. Now, we would probably consider this the more prestigious awards for the actual league part.
Yeah.
I think we can probably agree on that. Steve tends to reserve these for people who have not just had necessarily good weight seasons, but of embody what Mavi Fat is about as a whole.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any surprise in at least two of the names, all three of them really, but it's particularly two of the names we've mentioned very often already.
Yes. Yeah.
So one of the winners was Josh Buxton. He was a winner of the Club Award.
Yeah.
Very well deserved. Then another one went to Matt Waterman.
Another very well deserved one.
And then I think he himself was probably surprised by this, but no less deserving by just who he is and what he means to the people in this league. And I think sometimes he himself doesn't quite realise the impact he has on people in this league in a good way. So I thoroughly deserved in mine. Luke Cage was the last clubman.
Yes, Cagey, well done, mate.
And in speaking to him, I think he was pretty proud of that, and as he should be.
Yeah,
as he should be, because I'm sure he's probably saying it's a long time coming. But absolutely.
Very well deserved,
so thoroughly well deserved to all three clubmen there.
Yeah, and, excellent work, boys.
That kind of summarises a very long summary of the end of last season and how we've got moving into our new season, which maybe we can discuss now.
Absolutely.
Left a little bit. Yeah, so maybe I should actually just run through quickly the captains and the new team names for next season.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
So thoroughly deserved for the captains as well. So Luke Cage is a captain of the Whites, who are now named Paris Sandwich Man.
Love that.
Good one.
Paris
very good
one. That's a very good one. Then Alex Jones is captain of the Oranges. And they are called
Oranges, let's go.
Ivory Toast. Known as Ivory Toast. So that's a good one as well. I actually think they're all pretty good. Really pretty good. You know. Craig Drury is the captain of the Blues. And they are named Scoffenheim FC.
Love that.
Good.
So love that one. Lewis Vaselina Turner is captain of the Purples. And their team is Purpleona.
Nice one. Love that.
Yeah. Then Connor Skirman is captain of the Reds. And I think he came up with this because I know he's seen an Aberdeen shirt. So his team name is Kebaberdeen.
Love that too.
I love that one. I'm pretty confident he's got an Aberdeen shirt, a red Aberdeen shirt. Then the next one, Tom Dowling is captain of the Yellows.
Super Yellows.
Yeah. And they are typically the yellow Chub Marines, which we all love.
Very good.
Yeah. Then Matt, go on.
No, sorry, I'm just going to give one of the honourable mentions, but let's listen to this last one. I give an honourable mention one of the names that got suggested for ours.
Yeah. So Matt Wharton is captain of the Blacks. Oh, come on, you Super Blacks. And we're known as the Black Forest Fatsos.
Yeah, love that.
So,
I love a Black Forest Gatto as well, so that's right up my street. That's unreal.
Yeah. And then the last one, Josh Buxton, is captain of the Greens, and they are known as the Incredible Bulk, which I have seen the logo for as well.
The logo is awesome for that as well. Yeah. Very, very good.
So
the honourable mention from our list was Citrus Got Real. I've got to say it properly. Citrus Got Real. So we don't know if it would have passed Steve's seal of approval.
No, he wouldn't have.
Of course it would have. You're not actually swearing. There's no.
Yeah,
one for us was I threw into the frame was Man Brazil.
Very good.
That would be nice. That would be nice. That would be good. That would pass, surely.
Man Brazil, I think would be all right. Yeah.
We also had Donald Lump FC, Fat Sumas FC, and Frying Dutchpan, because I know we had a Frying Dutchman before, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Wobblehampton Wanderers was the other one.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I'll freely admit, Black Forest Fatsos just rule. That literally just went straight through. Like whether we were just like there was not really much discussion. There was a few names that I'm trying to think of.
It's always nice when the few names are being batted around.
Yeah, me and Matt with the skinnering of the resurrecting the Brussu moves and back fat.
Right.
Blacks, because we've both been our Blacks before. That's where we started.
Yeah.
So that's where Matt started at the end of when he came in. So those ones I always quite enjoy them.
Where are the logos then? Can you see the logos?
So we have a logo made by Paul's missus. So that's quite a good one. But yeah, not like anyone who's listening can see, but maybe we can share the logos out.
I'm just showing
at some point. Yeah,
I've seen a few of them obviously because people have got me sorting out kits for them. So I love the Black Forest Gatto one as well, and the actual theme of it being black and red, and obviously Black Forest Garrow's got cherries on it as well. So it's all very well done. To be completely honest, I'd say it's a fantastic choice of name and badge.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Well, it's mainly Matt and who's been sorting it out. So I should say thank you, by the way, to everyone who's doing the admin part. I don't envy it now.
No, leave them to it.
That's why Ben dropped out. Yeah. Oh. Anyway, what do we all think of the new teams? Then pretty fair, pretty good job. I think so. Probably
about this, weren't we?
Thanks, Steve, for a very good job. Well done. Considering how much he has to juggle.
Yeah, very thorough.
Yeah. So and we're looking forward to a new season. So I think it should be pretty close. Another, to say, very well spread in terms of pitch ability and also off-pitch habits and that. So
yeah, it's good.
Looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be a little bit strange walking out there. Maybe not for me because I'm wearing the bloody same colour that I've almost always worn, black or yellow. I mean, it's either one of the two.
I'd quite happily take a black. The two I want are black and red, and I've just got to wait almost another year for a potential black or red. Yeah, but
yeah, it's frozen.
I'm pretty desperate.
Again, but black is definitely one.
Oh, he did briefly, but yeah. Sorry, Jack, we did lose you for a brief second.
We lost you, mate.
But yeah.
Oh, sorry, guys. It's my dodgy internet. It might be that Spurs have just scored and it's sends my internet all doolally. Solanke just got a fucking piss easy penalty.
I was going to say this. I didn't say this to Steve, but I wanted to be Reds. I was quite keen on trying to be Reds because I quite like the idea. I mean, I don't really mind red, green, blue, any of those kind of colours. Oh, yeah, exactly, maybe. But I realised that red would have been perfect for us anyway because Matt Waltman's a Liverpool fan, so he would have worn his Liverpool shirt.
Yeah.
There's about 3 or 4 Man United fans in the group. I think at least 4, from what I can tell. And then some Bournemouth fans. So it's not really like we couldn't wear red.
Yeah, I think
pretty much everyone in the league would have had one. Yeah. We would have got our own team kits anyway, but it's quite, it's quite cool to be able to use it as a backup.
Yeah, definitely.
And but I seem to get lumped with black again, which is not a problem. But
I'm a different colour.
I've been
a different colour every time, so quite happy with yellow.
Yeah, lucky you. It's difficult to get shirts though, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's mad easy to get shirts.
No.
I imagine purples and oranges have the same issue. So.
Yeah.
Go from there. Anyway, lads, anything you guys have done to start the season? Any challenges, things you've put in place? Any incentives? Any discussions you've had about New Year that you want to kind of get along as your groups?
We've had quite a good discussion today about what people want to do, sort of what their targets are for the season, where they see themselves, and if anyone's got any hints and tips around our group. As I was saying a little bit off air, our group of lads are generally, we've got mainly older guys, not older as in age wise, but guys that have been around for a while. So we've got quite a group of lads who have lost quite a lot of weight already, maybe put a little bit back on, so are looking to lose weight again. So I think there'll be plenty of chance for us to spur each other on and help each other to maybe try and get that weight moving again, because some of us have stalled. We've got to a certain point and then gone backwards a little bit. So I think there'll be quite a lot of comparing what people are doing, what's working for them, what's not working for them, what worked before, what might work again, that kind of stuff. So there's been quite a bit of chat around that, but yeah, positive so far. I know Tomo's quite into his challenges, so I think he's got a few coming. I think they're looking forward to some of the stuff that you might be putting out, Josh, as well. So yeah, really positive. And most of the guys are engaging so far. So yeah, it's been really good. Obviously, early days. We've only been going for a couple of days, and there's all the chat around sort of kits and names and stuff like that, which kind of dominates the chat to a point.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's always been admin. I'll admit freely in our chat, it's been mostly admin to try and get the kits, because that's the time sensitive thing you need to get out of the way to make sure you start. But I know things like icebreakers and that will come along. A bit of discussion, as you said last week, about what your motivation is, why you're here, what do you want out of it, what can we do to help, that kind of thing, each other. And then, as you say, maybe a little bit talk about what might spur individuals on. So whether it is a specific challenge they find has worked pretty well from the past, whether it's just simply I just need to chat to guys in the group, when things are going wrong, that kind of thing, or you're thinking of something. So I'm sure that will come for us. Obviously it's Easter weekend now, so I'm not expecting it right now. In terms of, this is probably a good chance because you did briefly mention it there, Ben. In terms of challenges for next season that might be set by myself and I, and Steve maybe, there is something I have in mind. So my challenge for next season that I am planning on doing is around the world in 100 days. So the idea is simple. It's a steps challenge. It's a simple steps challenge. But there are over 14 million steps that it takes to circumnavigate the globe.
Yes.
And as a group of 80 lads, as a community, I think that's completely plausible in 100 days. So while I haven't done I have done the maths, but I just can't remember the numbers.
Shouldn't it be around the world in 80 days?
So normally it would be 180 days. It should normally be 80 days. Well, I'll tell you why it's 100.
Go on.
Because there are 98 days in 14 weeks of a season.
Okay.
So I figured
eking it out a
little bit further. Now I also did a bit of maths on this, and 80 days was just a bit touch and go on what I felt was a bit plausible for the league.
Everyone having to do 20,000 steps a day.
So this is the thing. So actually, the target you may find that this is actually quite achievable. So I would say basically, if you had 80 or so guys do the average of between, I think it's about 5,700 steps a day, you in theory should reach your target in 100 days.
Love that.
So around the world, 25,000 miles or whatever, it's 24,900 and something miles, which is 14 million. So I can't remember. It might be way more. It might be 40 something million. I've just well underestimated, but I can't remember a precise number right now. But I will put it together. That is essentially the challenge. So for everyone to join in a community club challenge to do a step challenge for 14 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
So it may be that some weeks you're on holiday and you can do slightly less, but next week you can come back and do slightly more. Yeah. It could be that some people in your team are going to be doing 20,000 steps a day. Some people in the team may struggle to do 3, 4, 5,000 a day, but then some days they might get up there when they can. Ultimately, it doesn't put the pressure on you to do them consistent all the time every single week, but it does keep it consistent so that we as a league can try and do that.
Love that,
as a goal. Obviously, there's a level of how we're going to track this, which I must admit is on my mind slightly. There isn't a way of doing it which involves the aid of the captains.
Yeah.
So this is kind of my chance to put a feeler out there and say, I would really appreciate your help. But at the same time, I am trying to find out a way that I can do it without having to rely so heavily on everyone else's help.
Yeah.
Slightly automate the process. It is a little bit difficult to find something, I must say, to track 14 weeks worth of steps for 80 plus guys.
Yeah. You'd have to split it into teams, won't you?
Yes, essentially. So, but that's the challenge.
I love that, mate.
So that will be happening, whether we achieve it or not is
well, that's the challenge.
Up to us.
And I guess we can have little sub competitions in amongst our teams for it as well, very much like what Sam and Kev did for an Easter egg. They whoever got the most got an Easter egg, so that's a nice little idea. Obviously to be consumed after Friday, not before Friday.
Well, hopefully Sam won it, didn't he? Hopefully he won it, won an Easter egg. He'll shove that in because Kev's on my team, so I don't want him shoving too many Easter eggs.
So I must admit, while we're recording the pod, I'm still fleshing it out. But that is the general challenge. That is the challenge I've settled on.
Well, we'll look forward to that, mate. That's a good one.
So I think we can do it together, and we can have regular updates weekly on where we are. This is the challenge, and see if we can get some step counts in there. See if we can sort out some things for the people who do the most, that kind of thing. And I will try and find a way to track it as best possible for those who want to commit. I'm not expecting, I'll be honest, I'm not expecting all 88 guys to be involved at like the absolute level. So therefore, I think the average will probably come up from 5,700 to if you've got 60 guys, it's going to be closer to 8,000. But I think that's an achievable goal still.
Thanks. So
and anyone who can chip in for those steps will help, and that's what we want. So that's the general.
So when are we starting that then? So when are we actually going to start?
I mean, in theory, it would have to start
on Monday, wouldn't it?
It would have to start Saturday or Monday to get through the season. Yeah, I could do it in 98 days, or I could do it in 90 days, and
just maybe do it from Monday and whatever that number of days that is until end of.
That will take it to 3 days after the end of the season.
So, yeah, cool.
And not too
worried
about that. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the challenge.
Love it.
Brilliant.
We're happy with that. I think that's
it's a great idea, mate.
It keeps people active, and you can do it in your own pace as such.
Yeah, totally.
Trying to keep going, but it is a challenge in the sense that everyone can chip in, and also it is a decently lofty goal. It's not like it's achievable, but it's not it's not like everyone can get away with doing a couple of thousand steps a day.
No, it's very difficult, because you've got some people who have desk-based jobs and don't get a chance to get out there, so they might only do 2,000 or 3,000 steps in a day. So it's difficult for them. But if they've got, if they gets them to get up and maybe try and get an extra 1,000 steps in of a day just to help boost the score, then that's doing them the world of good, as well as adding into the challenge. So I think it's a good shout, mate. If people have the incentive to get up and do that, then that's good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm okay. I definitely got the steps count wrong. when I said 14 million, it's closer to 50 or 60 million.
Oh, okay.
So steps or so. But I will put out an official number to reach when I've done the maths.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, and break it down for everyone in the chat as we start next week. Go from there.
Nice.
Over the weekend, I'm going to try my hardest to find a way to track it. If I'm really honest, I can do things like stride kick and do up to 10 people in the team, which means not absolutely everyone, and that'll have to include myself so I can track the numbers. Or people can send me them, so you can set up your own teams in like stride kick, but you can only do it over 7 days and up to 10 people. So you'd have to do it 14 weeks rolling. So you'd have to do one every week for 14 weeks. And just send me screenshots and stuff. So I don't know if I love that, but it's not that is a way around it.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
I'm sure you'll work it out, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. Well, I must admit, Jack, I know you have to go in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I've got about 5 minutes.
Yeah. So
I'm happy to.
They're going to let him talk about Arsenal for 5 minutes.
I mean, why not? Are you happy with that, Ben, or do we?
I think it's worth talking Villa as well. I'd give Villa some flowers for their
Champions League.
Villa for the night before was just an incredible game of football, and I think they did all that they could against a PSG team that dominated Liverpool at Anfield, didn't they? And really did a job on Liverpool over two legs. I appreciate they obviously beat Villa quite comfortably in the first leg, but the other night at Villa Park it was rocking, wasn't it? And it's very impressive.
I just think Champions League in general has been pretty good this season. It's been pretty impressive.
Yeah.
There's not been any real, like, no disrespect to Arsenal, but if you consider their league up and down form it's been good overall, but up and down. I wouldn't have expected them to get quite where they are in the Champions League, or at least being so impressive.
Yeah,
as the thing. And Villa, again, great team, but I mean, we all know Emery's just a cup genius, isn't he? But
he is.
So they've been extremely impressive, and Liverpool, considering how impressive they have been, to go down to PSG. Although again, PSG have been very impressive since they've lost all their stars.
Yeah.
Which is not surprising, actually, on some level. You lose some big egos and suddenly you're a team.
Definitely.
There you go. Yeah. So
and then last night was just from the tone was set obviously last week against them. Arsenal probably, and I think a few of the Madrid players did say this, Arsenal could have been 4 or 5-0 up after the first leg, how they played and really blew them off the park. And last night, I think what Arsenal have done over the last 2 legs have shown their versatility. Last night they were going to be low block defending for a lot of the game and knew that they would have to play on the counter, and proved without Gabriel, who's considered one of the best in the league in that position, to still be able to play as well as they did and defend as well as they did. Kivior has been fantastic, and thankfully for Arsenal, I think, but sadly for Arsenal, I think he'll be leaving in the summer. But I reckon he's added a couple of million on top of his price tag after those 2 performances against Mbappe and Vinny Jr. and everybody else. But it was the tone was kind of set for me for the day. Taylor came downstairs and had an Arsenal shirt on, and Lise was like, "Why have you got that on?" And she said, "Well, it's the biggest day for Arsenal in forever." And I was like, "How on earth do you know that?" And it turns out that she and Ethan actually follow. I don't do this myself, but on WhatsApp you can teams have like social channels on WhatsApp, and it's almost like they're the same, identical to their Instagram page. Obviously, my kids don't have Instagram, but she looks at that regularly and kind of keeps up to date, mainly for the women's football because she absolutely loves her Arsenal women's bits. But yeah, she was like, "I knew Daddy would be happy to see me wearing this today," and it's a massive day. Honestly, I was bursting with pride, and she sat and watched the whole game with me. Ethan would have, but he actually went out with Luke last night. So yes, we sat and watched the whole game, and she was fixated by it. She was kind of trying to console me when things weren't quite going how I wanted it to do. And what I found really difficult is to kind of keep a level temperament, obviously not too high, not too low, and be sensible about it. But it was just an incredible. She knows how much it means to me, and it's just an incredible night, a night that we've not seen for a long time as Arsenal fans. I know we've had some cup success recently, but that was COVID Cup year, and not much before that for a while. So it was a really great night, and whatever happens from here, it's a memory that will live me forever. And It's not often you beat Real Madrid in the Bernabeu. It's not often you beat Real Madrid 5-1 over 2 legs.
Very impressive.
And the goals were fantastic. The players that scored them were super important. Martinelli's shown since he's come back from injury a new level of desire and a new level of importance to the team. And Saka has got absolute balls of steel to miss that penalty and still be as effective in the game and not let his head drop and everything else. It's just amazing. And the referee, I think, was actually awful. He gave a couple of. I don't think our penalty was. You see it every week in the Premier League and or whatever, and the penalty he gave for Real Madrid, I'm glad it got overturned, and he should feel like a tit for giving it. But it's just one of those things. And yeah, overall, just an incredible feeling, an incredible night, and long may it continue. Bring on PSG.
So when's that game?
Couple of weeks. We're home first again. I don't know how it works, but somehow we managed to get the home fixture again first. Obviously, it worked out this time round.
Do they draw them then, or is it like a normal system where you're in one half of the draw?
I think you're on one half of the draw, but I think the way that it's done, it's pre-selected. So if you are wherever you are,
X, Y, Z goes. Yeah.
So yeah, it's Sorry, pardon. I just coughed. Couldn't stop it. Yeah, the way it's happened is that we're home first, so we just need to make sure that home advantage counts again, and we do everything we can, like we did against Madrid, to really get those goals in to start with and see how it goes. It could be a rematch against Barcelona, the last team that we played in the Champions League final.
What's the other semi-final then? Is it Bayern?
Inter Bayern. Sorry, Inter Barca, not Bayern. Sorry, Inter Barca.
Oh, Bayern didn't get through.
No, they got beaten by Inter. Yeah, and Barcelona are looking pretty good for the league at the moment as well. So
another trophyless season for Harry Kane. Oh, well, no, he'll win.
They'll win the
Bundesliga.
Bundesliga, yeah, it'll be his first one. But yeah, there was an image of him earlier, tears in his eyes. But, yeah, I'm sure he'll go over it, counting his millions. But yeah, anyway, thank you for giving me that airtime of a bit of Arsenal chat, and I do appreciate it.
Just before you go, Jack, Kirill, you've sung his praises. Does he play?
Kirill, yeah.
Does he play the next 2 games in Premier League?
Yeah, I don't think we've got much choice.
I'm talking fantasy football here, by the way. I need to know.
I don't think Ben White's particularly fit enough. He didn't even feature last night, and we definitely could have run the clock down with him. Calafiori's injured, out for the season. Gabriel's out for the season. So it's between him and Kirill. Maybe he might get the rest. I can't even think who we've got. I don't give a shit about the Premier League anymore.
Ipswich at home. Ipswich away.
Play the kids.
Yeah.
Who did you say it was? Sorry?
Ipswich away.
Oh, yeah, I reckon he probably will. I reckon Ben White will start at centre-back with Saliba. And
that's such a shame. I did not want to hear that.
I can't be sure. And,
I know.
Ipswich might even get the win, but it's a bit of a nothing game for both now, to be completely honest. But yeah, it's exciting times. I can't wait to go through it all again, but we'll see. It's quite. One final thing I will say, I'm in a Bournemouth Gooners group chat, and a few people said, and I completely agree with me, is the league has been a slog and it's tough, and this is what makes cup competitions, whether it's Europe or whatever, so special, because you live for those moments. You have those moments where it's a one-off game. You got two when it's 2-leg, but in that sense, it's a one-off fixture, and you've got an opportunity to progress and.
It's a different mentality.
Exactly, yeah. Disappoint the bookies and go against who they think favourites are and make a difference. So yeah, it was really good and a thoroughly good evening. And I've been singing Arsenal songs all day, as you can imagine. So yeah, all good. Anyway, chaps, I must go. Josh has put me on whites just to really piss me off because especially if Spurs playing tonight as well. So I'm gonna have to go dig out a white top to wear.
I'm a man of the
tonight.
people. What can I say?
Got to get your digs in some way. But yeah, boys, thank you so much. I will quickly say, actually, very quickly about the fundraising and the raffle and the bits and pieces. So we hasn't been done yet, but we will be probably early next week donating £625 to Dorset Mind, which is an incredible amount of money. Seeing as we obviously have to pay for the venue and some other bits and pieces, there was expense that we had to cover, but £625 is the number that we've come out with, and super proud of every single one of you that put your hands in your pockets at a very difficult time for a worthy and local charity. And I say it now, I don't think we'll do a raffle next time, but knowing me, I'll probably go, fuck it, let's try again. But it is hard to ask the same people again to donate. There was a few new stuff in there, which was really good. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, and cheers for you boys and the 23MPH and Steve for all supporting me with sorting it all out and planning it all. I think it went as smooth as it could have done, and obviously Dangerous on the ducks as well.
Went down. I didn't. The quiz bit would have been my absolute killer. Did he do quiz
in
the end?
Jimbo's quiz.
It was good. Yeah, really good. I'd had a few beers by then, and kind of my interest was struggling somewhat. But yeah, it was very, very good. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'll have to get him to send me the question and see if I can't some. Anyway,
all right. We had the winning score, so our team won.
You did.
Okay. See if I can beat you all.
Right, love you, chaps. Thanks
everybody.
for listening.
Take it easy. See you later. Bye.